Hey everyone, I am trying again to get Wendy Vandergrinten on the Facebook Live, so she should tune in here pretty soon and start watching it. Part of the delay with Facebook Live is that it doesn't, it's slow. It doesn't always show who's watching real time, so trying to get her on. She should be tuning in here pretty soon. All right, so I've invited her. Let's hope she sees it soon. And I just have to wait. Yeah. So this is all in preparation for Texas Fruit Festival and what we've got, coming up. Wendy Vandergrinten is the creator of the Dutch Fruit Festival. She's messaging me. She's the creator of the Dutch Fruit Festival. She's had 3 years. It's an annual fruit festival that have been successful. So she just volunteered to help me and messaged me out of nowhere. And as I'm growing, I'm learning more people, more contacts that are facilitating fruit festivals all over the world. So there's some people I'd like to reach out to. Hey, she's on, but not on the video. I think we just have to wait. So yeah, she has facilitated that. So she has a lot of great feedback. But we're not going to talk about that, actually. We're just going to talk about the enlightenment journey that I guess we've experienced. She has a story of her enlightenment, or just her awakening, and how she had kind of a change in understanding of her human experience, and how that applies to her energy and her life. And so I haven't heard about it. Can you invite me? She wants me to invite her. I've sent the invite. There you are. You just popped in. All right. It just showed your name, Wendy, just now. I've been on like for 5 minutes.
That was it.
Hey.
That was it.
Yeah.
It did it. It just said, hi.
Hi. It took like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's really just Facebook. It just doesn't send anything, and now it does. So that's super cool. Hi. Thanks for having me here.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to talk with you, and this is great. And thank you so much for, volunteering to talk to me and advise me on Texas Fruit Festival and everything you've done with the Dutch Fruit Festival. It's exciting. It's really, I'm honored to be speaking with you and to, you know, just to have your help and your guidance and you advising me. It's going to change everything. It'll make it better.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Totally. Well, I just wanted to shout out really quick, to my sponsor, Third Eye Botanical from San Angelo, Texas, has stepped forward to help me and has sponsored and is in partnership with putting on this festival. So, yeah. So tell me about, I had told I've already mentioned that we're just going to talk about enlightenment and our journey, our inner journey of why this message, how it's come to fruition, and just to get to know you, chat, really, just to see,
Just
say
to get
hi.
to know each other, right?
Yeah, on a deeper level, I guess.
Well, hello.
Hey.
Hello, you and everybody watching.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tiffany, for inviting me. Yes, indeed, I just reached out to you because I saw your poster and I thought, oh, wow, that's super cool. She got so much people like speaking at the festival, and I haven't heard from that. I'm super interested. Probably not be able to fly to the USA as a Dutch citizen at this moment, but who cares? I just want to meet other organizers.
And in the future.
Yeah, for now, in the future, I'm just, it's interesting to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you asked me to share something this video about how I came to this idea of raw food, and we talked about how it usually means you become more enlightened and you are more clear on how you feel regarding food or mentality. And for me, I think compassion with the world and everything that lives. And
You know what? That's an interesting topic because people have, even in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed people saying that they did not make the connection between raw food and enlightenment. So, would you share your experience and your perspective on that? Because I get surprised and then I have to, like, I didn't think it through, and I think, well, yeah, I mean, it makes you happier, makes you more healthy. I mean, it's a grounded explanation, but what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, so for me, I am a Dutch therapist, not a psychotherapist, but a natural health therapist. That's something that you can study here as a bachelor on, university level education. They don't let you go higher than bachelor though, so it's kind of restricted. But that's something that I've been doing actually before I got official therapist. I just was a coach and helping people getting to know their energies, because for me it always came very natural as a child that apparently I was saying things that I wasn't supposed to know. Well, I didn't know them, I was just asking questions about things that would concern me, like how's your mom doing, and then the child would completely get angry at me, how do you know that, and I'm like and it took me until I was 9 or 10 to realize that I'm not normal. You're not supposed to ask this question. One, that I was probably also not hearing that from then, but I just had this feeling. So I was acting on some feeling that I didn't know I was acting on. And I think for a lot of people, they still live their life. They feel something, they act on it, they do. You're hungry, you eat. There's not like a third person in your head keeping the overview and saying, hey, what are you actually eating, or what are you actually saying or doing? So when I had that as a child, we were talking about a little bit about enlightenment. Well, I don't think I'm born enlightened at all. I'm still thinking the further I go, Oh my God, I'm such a child. I have so much to learn. I am so sometimes even embarrassed about things that I did before with the beliefs I had before that I thought, oh,
Oh,
how
sure.
could I have done that? So sometimes I still
Yeah,
have to go through that. But
absolutely.
I think my memory goes back starting, I think we call it third grade. That's just the first one after kindergarten. And remembering that, wow, life finally started. I'm going to school and I finally can learn something. And I want to help people and I want to help me, and people should just
Yeah.
be happy. And I remember that that was my main thought, and I have a clear vision of the building. It was gigantic. I've been there a lot after. It's like very low building actually.
Uh,
There was a
yeah.
gigantic tree. The tree is just 2 meter
Yes.
20 ceiling, but from my perspective it was gigantic.
Yeah.
And not everybody has memories like that, and I had these memories, and
Hmm.
I never did anything until I was 9 or 10, and I really started to wonder, like, okay, but um so stones heal people, right? So they you put them on people and they heal. And people ask me, what are you doing? I'm just playing. I didn't know that. I was just playing, but somewhere inside me, this knowledge was already hidden. So I
Wow.
think, and to a certain degree, some things were coming out which I was not aware of. So it took me a long time. And when I was, I think, 9, I went to this museum of natural history where they have a lot of um, minerals and stones
Hmm.
and fossils,
Nice.
and I was super interested in that. I mean, like I only did my talks in school about how did humans come on Earth and how did the Earth develop, and I did my first
Yeah.
protest for the environment when I was 10. So
Wow.
I'm like a
Wow.
little bit strange in that perspective.
Yeah. No, not strange. That's awesome.
so when I was when I was around like getting 10, I also started noticing that what I say and then other kids say, and that a lot of stuff that I say is totally not accepted. And I felt
Mm.
outside of them. I felt them versus me. And I think then the real separation of being an individual started to hit on me. Like, the world is not like I thought it was. I
Mm.
thought we were all supposed to get along, and if we just communicate, it would just work, and we can create this beautiful place, and everybody's happy. I just had this like idea, and then it doesn't. It doesn't, and I'm super naive in that perspective because it stuck on me. It's just every time I was so naive, expecting like good stuff, and then it doesn't always work out like that.
Wow. That's
So
very
it's really yeah, it's something I do believe that came with my soul when I decided to do the human experience.
mm-hmm.
And I really feel like that, like we're doing the human experience. It's our
Yeah.
human school on Earth, and we could make it a really beautiful school. We just have to
Right.
learn a little bit, and we can help each other do that. So I still feel like that. So that first, let's say, enlightenment or insight came when I was 10, and it helped to go to that museum, as there was a woman that gave me a paper, a poster with you call them minerals, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
special stones.
Mm-hmm. Or crystals.
Oh yeah, crystals like quartz and amethyst
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
all of those. So I investigated all that, and I got my mom an amethyst for a headache, and like things like
Yeah.
that. And I got a very
Cool.
nice jaspis, for French jaspis, for myself, to ground. And I just continued helping people with those stones because this lady said it works like that, and I was feeling that it works like that, so it does.
Yeah. Totally right.
and and yeah, people say that's very young, but I was on the outside. I was just a kid. I was just an outside kid. I just wanted to play. I loved nature. I wanted to be an archaeologist. I wanted to be a
Cool.
geologist. I wanted to investigate Earth. I wanted to know how things work. I just wanted to dig up the history of Earth and tell people what really happened. And you
Wow.
know, because I was really interested, like how humans become, how are we having these bodies. I was just super interested in that. And so after that happened, I was also outside, just playing outside. I was smart enough to do my homework and be a good girl in school
Yeah,
and do
sounds
what
like
they
it.
say, but I didn't feel very at home because it was very boring for me to listen to the teacher. And if they say something twice, it would be even more boring.
Wow.
And so I sort of shut off at some point. I decided I want to be normal. And I really couldn't handle kids that throw stuff and annoy people because I was like, why? I just didn't get it. I just didn't
Mhm.
get it. It just really, this whole thing that emotions are bothering you. I was having them according to my parents when I came home. I was apparently screaming and super wild and busy, but I didn't have that. So I was still like asleep in a way. But I was also, when I was 10, I was also getting really aware of I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, and it comes with, rules of society, how girls supposed to behave. And looking back, it seems pretty a normal psychologic development.
Mhm.
Um, but I was aware of that, and I was also super aware of my dreams. I still have my dream diary from then,
Wow.
and yeah, that's super interesting because I'm going through that with my twin flame that I met about a year and a half ago, because he
Oh,
has the
cool.
same dream. So I have my dream diary, so I could just say, "Look, it's real. I'm not making it up. See that I dreamt exactly what you told me." So that's just
Oh
a
my
side
goodness.
note. That's just
Yeah, yeah, I believe in telepathy.
it's the most funny thing ever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was just cool. So I decided that when I became more aware, actually, at the age of 10, and I tried protest and I tried doing, I was so naive. I just thought if you do that, people listen, don't throw stuff on the street, and then people don't throw stuff on the street anymore. I mean, because you're not supposed to. So I was so naive about that. And then before I went to the secondary school, and then you're about 12 or 13, like between 10 and 13, let's say there, I decided to be normal, and I don't want to feel stuff anymore from people. I don't want to know stuff from people. I will not help people with weird things like stones or say things before thinking about it because it'll only give me trouble. You know, kids don't like me because I'm weird. So I cut it all off, and I decided just to be like a normal kid and go to the secondary school and not let anybody know. And that lasted for well, I came in a gigantic depression again, and I wanted to die, and everything was terrible. So at some point, that was not really working anymore for my life, and I got interested again in feelings and intuition and things that you feel from outside of you.
That's incredible.
And so I think at 15, 16, I decided I needed a boyfriend, so I found one. Really silly, but I found one. And
Yeah.
at the same time, I still wasn't getting along with most kids. So I had some
Mhm.
friends, they were good friends, and we had some fun, but I still wasn't very understanding, the other one very well. And I was just interested why that is, and why do I feel like on a party who's having an argument with whom, and who is like, you can just feel this
The
tension,
drama.
right?
Hmm.
And why do I feel that tension, and all these other kids don't feel that tension?
Mm.
And so then it I found out at that moment, like, oh, maybe they feel it, they're acting on it, but they don't know that they're feeling and they're acting on it like I did when I was 10. So I was like,
Yep. Interesting.
so, and that was a big moment. And then I just started to explore the library, and I did everything you can find on meridians and auras and energy, and trying
Nice.
to block your energy from other people stealing it.
Mm.
And so I decided to try this meditation thing, and that was really my escape. I just went in my room and just sat. I was just
Wow.
listening to this meditative CD thing, and I just listened. And my parents would ask me, Wendy, what did you do in your room? And I was like, nothing. I said, what did you do? I actually did nothing. I just sat on the chair, and then 3 hours would pass, and then after 3 hours, like, nice dinner. Time passed. I'm not depressed. I feel good.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was my escape as a teenager to do that. And I think that also gave me some more, I don't know if it's more knowledge or more enlightenment, but I feel at that time I was maybe even more intuitive than I was until last year, April. Because I blocked it again, because of a lot of fears came out. Because when I started opening and reading and meditation, I got visits again in my bed that I would remember that I had them as a child, and I would just freak out for moving things around, and I was interested, but like super afraid. And
Wow.
yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm seeing ghosts. That's not good.
Oh, wow.
And but I was getting really good at feeling moods in a room and just deciding to walk away. And I was really getting better. And I think all the learning and then the books would really have helped me that. So it's really like a process. I think enlightenment isn't always like Eckhart Tolle had you be hit by lightning and you wake up.
Yes. Yeah,
But
I hear people like make fun of people who refer to enlightenment like nobody's enlightened. Well, no, I mean it's a word for saying an awakening process. There is, when the light bulb comes on, you're enlightened. When you have an idea, there's an enlightenment. It doesn't need to be so cosmic, but sometimes it is. And we, are connected to the cosmos, so we can't deny that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I started having experiences where I would start photo reading, for example, just for fun, see if I could do it. And then I would just look at a photo of somebody, and you're supposed to tell them something about what you see. So I just go, you're a person like that, and you feel things like that, and that's special. And I noticed when I started writing, like lots of stuff would come, and I was like, wow, it was all here. I just never put it down on paper or spoke about it. And then it turned out I was pretty good at that. So I had some fun. My dad did a Reiki course, so I went to do that.
The Reiki, very good.
I read a nice book from a Dutch lady that I went to thank 10 years later, because her life story book was really helping. Like, not her book. She had the book after, I'm sorry. She wrote a book now, but back then she was really young and, oh my God, I feel something and I want to help people. So she was also like her first thing, and I was one of the first patients that she met to help. Cool. And I was able to speak with her completely only through telepathy on the emotional level, and mostly on the solar plexus chakra. And we would just exchange this information through our chakras, and I would just feel, and she would ask me a question, and like a short question, like, how was it? And I would go like, oh my God, all this stuff comes out from when I was 9 and 10 until now. And I would send her back in a fraction of a second, like it was like that. And she would just say, oh, that was tough, right? And I would go, yeah, but I'm so much better. And then I would send her back like my vision. And then she took me like 3 tarot cards and said to me, you just need those 3 things, and just from confidence, and you can do it, and don't worry, we're all witches. And I thought, yeah, we're all witches. What does it matter? And then from that point, that was like, maybe I spent 30 minutes there maximum. And it was really, so I went to thank her later, because for me, it was really important. And it was just, I'm sorry?
That is a significant experience when you're able to have a telepathic communication with someone.
So clearly, actually.
Yeah.
So for me, it confirmed everything, like my inner beliefs that are challenged from everything outside of me, like that you can feel people's energy, that you can heal yourself, that crystals do work, all of that it does matter if you throw stuff on the street, or does matter that you don't go annoy somebody because you have nothing else to do. And because of that confirmation was like, oh, I'm not alone, I'm not the only one. Wow. and then that gave me confidence to do, you know, a lot of other things. And yeah, so that was a big step, and it gave it you know, it gave me the confidence to not lock down myself again, because I think that's why I got the dreams, and I would just have so much lucid dreaming, and I was not able to.
Nice.
I was just not knowing that like it was real. I was thinking that it was real until like almost the last moment, like, oh my God, you're dreaming, wake up.
Wow. Well, this was an intense period, it sounds like. This was not just, so this was after you met her, it was an intense period that you
That
went through that. It was like ignited, like a
Yeah, it
second
was like
awakening.
before. It was before.
Oh,
Yeah, it was about, yeah, because I met her 2002 or something like that, 2003.
okay.
And I'm 39, and what I started talking about, I was around 16, so it took 3 to 4 years. Yeah, 4 years basically from half of my secondary school until when I went to go study at the university.
I see. Wow.
So I was already studying at university, and I went to this student psychiatry, how do you say it? Psychological.
Psychology?
Yeah, psychology.
Psychology?
Student psychology. Yeah. And that was really nice. And I followed a course on fears, and I did voice dialogues and family constellations, and I just
cool.
had so much fun. I just
That's
wanted to get over
amazing.
my fears, but it was really,
Yeah.
really cool to see how you can work with the energies like that, and then you progress. And so immediately 2 years after, I met a whole lot of people on the World Wide Web, and we started organizing together intuitive development weekends for ourselves, to invite others to join us that also want to learn, and we just share our experiences. So not like one is the teacher and the rest is the student, but just to learn from each other. And I would just invite people I know and ask, okay, you do shiatsu, can you share something about that? And I'll share about Reiki healing, or somebody shares about music, healing power of music, and how you can use your voice to heal yourself. And yeah, that was really cool. And I started doing that in 2003, and I run my event in 2005. And then from 2005 on, basically, I just had people that would just lie down, and I would do them Reiki, because I was a Reiki master then. And then I would apparently do a regression without knowing that I was doing regressions. I was just doing, I was just getting the blockages out and make people talk about it and give space for their emotions, and then they can continue. And at this time I was still studying. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be like a scientist, because I love beta. I'm a beta girl. I couldn't do archaeology because they wouldn't let me in without a higher level education here. And because I would just fill into the gap, I had to take 5 more subjects. So that was a technical thing. So that was impossible, because I never did any German, French, and another language, but I was supposed to do examine it without. So either way, I had to go 3 years more or just try something else. So I decided to do that. So I had all this bad technical scientific stuff on one side ruling my life, trying to learn all these mathematical things, which were pretty hard for me. I find it pretty difficult to remember that and to do all that mathematical stuff. Yeah. And then on the side, I had this spiritual stuff where I was really can get my heart out. I was gymnastics teacher too at the time, so I did that for a hobby, and I did gymnastics 4 times a week. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So I had like this balance in like exercise and brain and spiritual healing and development all side by side.
That's cool.
And yeah, so the path of enlightenment until there went pretty slow, but I was just seeing, I didn't want to go work in some basement here in Phillips Research with some gray old autistic people. I came there, was like, all these guys are focused on their own thing the whole day, and they're like 30 years older than me, and I just don't feel that this is the work I can do. I need people. So I decided to become a teacher. you know, I'm already doing physics, so I'm already a gymnast teacher, so why not teach physics?
Yeah.
So I did that, got my diploma in physics and chemistry as a teacher, and I did IT on the side. So I had a side job to help people with all their IT problems. I had my little IT business. Still do that, by the way. Just help people with their IT stuff. And yeah, was trying to be happy. I had my boyfriend and we had our house, and the house was exactly like I always imagined. I always imagined the first step. Like, okay, I want a house, not too big, just in the street but I need a front and a back garden. I need an attic, and that's what I want. And I want to be with this boyfriend, and then I'm gonna get my diploma, and I'm gonna work, and it'll be fun, and I'll have, you know, that's be the first step. But I had this first step, and I was already 3 bachelor diplomas at this time, because I just feel that I needed to develop. And I was going to teach at school, and after 4 years, you know, finally all the kids listened to me. And finally I got like a flow going on there. And I was at one side, they said to me, one said to me, Wendy, you are the sweetest teacher. Oh. No, first she said, Wendy, she said it the other way out. Wendy, I know you can be really strict, but you are the sweetest teacher. And I really remember this and this project that we did, and I loved it so much. Thank you. And I just broke. I was just crying. I thought, oh my God, isn't that what you want? Like, yeah, you're the sweetest teacher, but strict. And they loved what you did. So that means they listened, they learned something, and they loved it. So, but the moment made me happy for that moment. But my whole life was in nothingness. I had everything I visioned. And you think you'd be happy. No, I was completely depressed. I was thinking about if I could hit the tree, or with my scooter, or if what would happen if somebody would come, if I would end up on a car wreck, or if people would be actually worried, like, would anybody come to see if I die right now? And what's really the point to all this? I did everything everybody asked of me. I did hobbies, I took care of my body, I'm nice for people, I got diplomas, I got the house, I got now a job, I got an income, I have more money that I can buy and do things at the time that I'm having. Yeah. So I was going crazy. It was like, nothing. And I just had this nothingness. And so I went, after all these thoughts, I thought, that's not good that you're thinking that. So I went to ask help. I went to the director of the school, and I said, I have a little problem. I'm thinking about changing my career again, because this is how I feel, and it's going okay with the kids, but it's just not, I'm just not having good thoughts. They immediately put me in timeout. They said, from now on, you're free, go home, sit there, think about yourself. And I was like, oh, what did I do wrong? You know? Yeah. But I thought I was a good teacher. I do what you asked me, right? But she obviously wanted me to also be happy. So they put me in this project, if I wanted, reintegration project of finding yourself and things. So I just grabbed it with both hands, like, okay, 3 weeks for me to figure out what I need to do to get out of this hole. And it was a deep hole. And I remember that I was home for 6 weeks. He told me 6 weeks. And I was just walking on the street and pacing in the house. Well, pacing, day after day, pacing. What's the point? Like, what's the point of life? What's the point of my life? What am I doing here? Why am I here? Like, all the time. You must imagine I've been doing that every day for a lot. And then I would walk on the street. What's the point? Why am I here? Why am I doing this actually? And I would just ask all these questions over and over and over. And then at the 6th week, I remember exactly the point in the house I was walking. And the lightning struck, literally. At this point, I was asking this question again from, why am I here? What's the purpose? And I don't know what happened, but in this micro fraction of a microsecond, it just opened, and I was just in meditative state. And I would just see me, my life, what I did, what I learned, and why am I at the house now? And I would just have my brain would come up with questions, and then the vision would come up with answers. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting answers super fast. So I was going, yeah, but if that is all the point, then is it really true that atoms work like that? And then poof, I was in an atom and I saw that and I was like, wow. And it's really like true that the photons come in and that's the energy that makes us tick. And I could see that. It's like, wow. Is it the same for the universes? Like, and then
The
poof, I
multiverse.
just went up out the earth and I just went out of the, I just saw all the moon and the sun. It was insane. And I was like,
Nice.
and it was so short, this moment, but it flashed. Like they say, when you die, everything flashes by your eyes. Well, it flashes by me.
Wow.
And I was just standing there and I was going like, ah, right. So I was right all along. We are here to make the best of the world and we are here to be happy. And my role is to do
Wow.
that. And my role is indeed to share what I did with others so they can get an idea to be happy too.
That's
Call it
incredible.
enlightenment.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I call
Absolutely.
it epiphany.
Sure. Or an awakening. I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't,
yeah. And
I
I
mean,
just
I think you
remember,
still get more. I don't think they stop. I think
now
that's,
I had mini
hmm
ones of those before, like very mini, but not like this. And this was just because this one I sort of control it. Like I was asking questions, and I was like, it was so amazing to see that. Like I know that my brain comes up with the visions, and it was mostly more feeling than actually seeing. But um, yeah, it just was like, okay, so my life purpose is my life purpose. And I knew it all along. I just got a little bit lost in the 3D matter, what people tell you that you're supposed to do. So it's really like, okay, I'm going to follow my heart. And then I
yeah.
decided to get this, subscribe myself to this school to become a natural therapist, because that's what
Wow.
I love most. I want to do, I want to share that what I'm given with from birth.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to learn really what others feel about crystals and herbs and
Mm-hmm.
all that. And right after, actually, I started already again changing my diet. And I really, this time I thought, this time I'm going to stay vegetarian. It's going to work.
Yeah. So
So
when was that you were pacing in your room that you got that vision, that spontaneous
yeah,
vision? What
I
year?
have not written it down. I can look it up because they fired me after on my, like, after a talk, because it just wasn't, they knew that I wasn't going to be happy, and they knew so that's good they fired me, because otherwise I wouldn't get um
Unemployed.
um yeah, an employment fee.
Was that like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? When did that happen?
Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere. I'm trying to think. Was it 2008?
Okay, a while ago, a
So
while
was
ago.
it 2000? I don't know.
That's
Somewhere
okay.
around there. Maybe
So then,
2008, maybe 7. I remember that at first I thought it was 2006, but I remember that it took me a year or two to actually find the school that I wanted to do. And I can only find back, but I can find back when I got fired. I mean, it was before I got fired.
mm,
So, yeah. And I just started to invite people and started redoing healings again, and getting out of my brain and trying meditation again, because I didn't do that for some time.
hmm
And decided to follow my heart, and that I wanted to
yes,
see the
that is
world
cool.
and want to do what
Wow,
my heart says,
that's right. That is a huge transformation, because I believe that the difference between being asleep and awakening is that, us overemphasizing our mind to going to living a heart-centered life, meaning that you're following your heart, meaning that you are loving what you do. You do what you love,
Yeah,
and that you learn more specifically what you love by refining what you love continually. I
yeah,
mean, so then that becomes the mission of your life, and how you can share it and apply it to everything you think, say, do, and feel.
yeah, yeah. Well, I decided to go in politics.
Wow. Well, there has to be some of that, I think.
I
Um,
just thought, I'm going to make the world green. I'm going to tell those people. So 2009, I went in the city council, and I could
wow.
tell people over and over again, not to hurt
Hmm.
animals, and to make shelters for people at the bus stop so they don't pour in the rain. I know it's little things, but good things, use
Yeah.
green materials for building. And I did a really cool presentation, I think in 2012, about green building materials and green roofs and all of that. And I remember everybody was against me. Everybody, like,
Sure.
and all the staff, and nobody understood. And they were asking me questions. And I was like, oh, really? I don't like, are you gonna, you only gave me a certain amount of time. I cannot explain
Sure.
everything. And the time's too short. Give me more time. I want to explain it. And then I found out, I think about 2 years ago, yeah, I got a message from my previous, how do you say that? We say that fraction
Boss.
chairman. Yeah, no, the
German.
chairman of the party that used to be the
Okay.
chairman of the party when I
The
was there.
chairman. Mm-hmm.
And he sent me a message and a
Mm-hmm.
photo in the article in the newspaper. And it really, they were like mentioning my presentation from back then, and like,
Wow.
and then seeing what all got, like, what they all implemented. And I was
Mm.
looking at that because I had really, I quit really on a bad foot, as in I gave up. But then I got to see yeah, 2019, I got to see that whatever it was that I did in 2012, even if it's
Nice.
7 years later, they
Yes.
implemented almost everything. And it was so
Awesome.
cool to see
Wow.
that. So it goes slow, but my effort,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't for nothing. And yeah, so is that enlightenment? I don't know. I just know that I sometimes can step in my little helicopter view whenever I want. And
Nice.
I know that it used to be that I could do the helicopter after an event, and that it's becoming more and more automatically that I'm just having the helicopter while I'm doing something. And that's really helped. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, going into politics was one of those things. Like, it was something my heart told me when I started studying, that that would be a cool way to help make the earth greener, and I wanted to do that, so I did that. And it's like you said, do what you love, but I wasn't loving anymore what I did at the end, so
Uh-huh.
I decided to change course and
Yeah.
become a therapist, and then become a mom.
Mm.
So then I became a mom, which came with
Yes.
health issues, and that just made me decide that either way, if I'm breastfeeding or not, I'm going to do a detox. And I never heard of raw food or anything, but I
Oh
did
yeah.
it.
We have a lot to talk about on that front, maybe for another video. But
Yeah.
that is incredible. While you were talking, I'm just listening, and it's incredible um, how I have seen a pattern emerge with people's awakenings, that our life isn't so fixed. Energy isn't stagnant. Our mind says that we learn one course of study and then we continue on in that single course, and we build and we grow, and we, according to the standards of society, we gain money, which, but when you start looking at the spiritual realm, then it begins to have higher definitions like abundance and prosperity. Uh, you begin to reevaluate what your experience is. It's a whole shift in experience. And just going from the mind to the heart, it's an activated um, life, So I know I was living, in a time in my life where I wasn't following my heart. I was following a logical path. I was I was not feeling my joy. I was not activated or happy. So I think that finding your happiness and understanding that your heart is the center of that. Um, yeah. And then you apply your mind to the power of your heart instead of applying, either rejecting your heart or trying to love or force. you know, your enjoyment doing what your mind thinks should be doing. That's a course of failure. That's a path of failure. But a path of success is being in alignment to what you love to do and using the power of your intellect to make it happen in a harmonious, loving way that is for the good of all, you know, in unity. And so, yeah, some of the things that you were saying, it's interesting because your job changes and we all have our own details. We were talking about this before, how we can have our life. We're completely free to live the life we want. It's just that our mind starts to stress or starts to self-deprecate, or, you know, we start to abuse ourselves instead of loving ourselves and giving us the freedom of self-love, of self-empowerment. So for me, the, you know, the experience, the message of self-love, self-empowerment, and self-healing is a completely transformational message. And to be able to apply it and ground it into reality, into the earth here and now, so that we can get together, we can normalize it, we can bring awareness as related to detoxification and regeneration with a fruit festival. You know, it's fun, it's celebratory, it helps other people, it promotes abundance, you know, so it began to, I think it brought us together energetically. You certainly plucked that energy stream out from the ether and contacted me, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah, it just popped up in my phone at some crazy hour.
Which one did you see? The beige one or the blue one? The 2-page one or the?
I just saw, you know, the timeline of Facebook showing me the photo on the Woodstock Fruit Fest page.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, I asked Anne Osborne if I could post there, and she's so gracious. She's so beautiful, and she said yes.
Ah, I could have asked her, but didn't. She was supposed to come to the Netherlands for our first Fruit Fest, but then, you know, Kappie went to school, and it's the opposite, summer winter over there, so she couldn't make it. For the first time, she didn't come to Europe in the summer. It's like, oh, too bad. We'd love to have her in Europe. I hope we can still do that. Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, she does so good stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, we're getting distracted, right?
Oh, yes.
Distracting you. What I wanted to add is that that following your heart is easier said than done. We have been brought up with the beliefs of our parents in the culture, and our followers mostly follow a Western culture, which is with a lot of judgment, a lot of good versus bad, punishment versus reward.
Duality.
And to step out of this good versus bad, and that's way easier said than done, because you think your heart is good and the rest is bad, and that's not the way it is. It is really about just completely being out of that and realizing on all levels of your existence, in all your energy bodies and your physical body at the same time, that it is okay and both are fine, and we're not defined by this duality. And that, to feel and experience that, I think that is following your heart, and that is following your intuition. Not that you're supposed to be good, like you said, following our brain. And to step out of these beliefs, our brain as a human body is really developed to not die, stay in the group. You know, if the group says that, you do that, because without the group, 20 million years ago, you would have died.
Right.
Because that's the development of the human body, but that's not the development of the human soul. The soul is completely outside of that. We're just temporarily inhabiting the earth.
That's right.
And it's a cool journey to start as a baby in this culture, in this society, and to grow and become that, see that we are more than that. And I'm really happy to see that so many souls on this planet are, even though it's a shitty time, coming out of that, because it does wake people up. And And it's really beautiful to see that a lot of people are doing that. So if I can be a part of anybody going through this process and wanting to have a better life on whatever level, and I can help there, I'm just more than happy to be there. And
Yeah.
you know, beautiful
Right.
soul like yours, when I see that you are doing like a festival, and I'm
Yes.
you know, I just want to be the fan. I want to be the first fan, you know. I want to be the
Yes.
supporter, because you know, like
Thank
if I
you.
can help somebody bring more people together, that is more efficient than me trying to get people together, you know. And then
Yeah,
if you have the
exactly.
experience, and then we're like this ripple, you know, that like in the
That's
water
right.
that enlarges, and we don't have to do one-on-one all the time. So
Yep.
yeah, it really makes my heart like shine, and it really makes me happy to be able to do that. So and I want to know I want to say to everybody that will watch this video also after, like, if you have your little helicopter saying, okay, I kind of acted angry out of emotion and I did something bad, stop yourself. It's okay that it happened. It's okay that you judged and thought it was bad. It's okay that you had this emotion too. And just like forget it. You had the moment. Just it passed.
Hmm.
Now you saw what you learned from it, and just next time when it happens, get less angry. And if you
Hmm.
get angry, try not to judge, and just continue to do that until at some point this little voice is not there anymore.
Hmm.
And it goes sometimes slow, but if you look back months or a year from now, all of a sudden you realize, wow, I changed. And you know, change is you change. Human bodies, human brains don't want to change. They want to keep you
Right.
safe, not dying, tiger, run away. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that's the brain. Group is good, comfort is good,
Yeah.
everything new is dangerous, it makes you die. That's how our primal brains work. So don't
That's
shoot
right.
yourself if you're going in the primal brain. Just realize it happens, step out and try it again next time. And one by, you know, a little step at the time, one by one, it'll go bigger and bigger. So I just want to have to share that.
Oh, that's beautiful advice. I mean, goodness, it is harder. It is like you said, it is harder to, easier said than done. But it is a process. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't even like, that's beautifully said. How do you give someone advice to have a happier life and to, you know, I mean, that's such a big topic, and it's so individualized as well. You know, like all I ever come back to is self-love, self-love, self-healing, empowering yourself. Because when you begin, for me, a huge step in my growth was to take on owning owning my self-healing and saying, no, I can heal myself. I don't have to run to someone all the time when something doesn't feel right or feel anxious, powerless, worried. I can say, no, I know how to heal myself. And have, there are tools, you know, affirmations, there are tools. And what's interesting is, as you go down that path, certain things don't work for people. I've noticed that I'll say, oh yes, you know, I said, you know, look at, hold your body and tell your body I love you, um, because of the self-hatred. I mean, you know, not feeling good enough. That's a very common human experience, beating yourself up for having made mistakes. And so I had someone like, no, that's not my style. What? That's, you know, there's so much rejection into loving yourself. So self-love in itself is such a huge message. And to say it and to deliver it in a way that is accepted by the person that you're talking to, or that the message is palatable to our density.
So I'm losing you.
It's gone now.
Ah, okay, okay. Well, I want to round it off in a few minutes, if it's okay
I
with
think you're
you,
right.
to go
Absolutely.
back to the kids down the stairs.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
was really happy to share my story. I didn't realize it took like more than half an hour to share only what what is really enlightenment, and how how you can have this little light bulb going on in your head and showing you, you know, how did it go with me? Well, how am I doing? How can I progress? Um, yeah, and I love how you share that about self-love. I've also learned from my years as working with people that when you say self-love, some say, no, I cannot do that. And there are others that say, yeah, absolutely. But they say, yeah, absolutely, because they know they're supposed to say yes.
Mm.
But to actually say it to themselves and feel it and put them in front of a mirror, that a lot of people, you know, take some
That's
time
hard.
before they can actually say that. And
Mm-hmm.
here, like our culture, we are not brought up like that. Even the
Yeah.
church is judging you, it's not loving you.
Oh, right. Right. Yeah. It's a powerful thing to look in the mirror and just say, I love you just the way you are. You know, you're just you. You're great. Thank you very much for, being here for me and being my body.
Yeah.
Thank That's
Well,
that's
yeah, I love doing that. It always makes me feel so much better if I'm down and I look in the mirror and I see myself. I'm like, oh, okay, Wendy, I really love you. Come on, cheer
yeah.
up. You're good today. And then I just really cannot do anything else but smile. But it took me a really long time to get there. I didn't do that before I had that weird epiphany. I'm calling it the epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
We just
So
can't judge and look at ourselves so critically. We can't look at ourselves so harshly. I mean, can't we just gaze on our life with love and joy and feel joy in every moment? And when we make a mistake, when we, just enjoy it and keep on, keep moving. If you
yeah.
stick in the mistake, then that's a catastrophe because you're stuck there. But you make a mistake and you keep flowing. Well, where's the mistake? It's gone. It doesn't even exist anymore. You've
Uh-huh.
moved on, and you're a thriving being. So, but yeah, well, we'll talk again soon. Thank you so much. You're brilliant. I love you, and thank you so much for talking with me. And I look forward to going through some of the nitty gritty about the fruit festival and how to facilitate it. But we'll have some chats like this too, because there's so much more to get to know, about each other. Maybe we'll do it a little more sophisticated with a live stream or StreamYard or something like that. We'll see what platform we use.
Yeah. Let's do some technical stuff. Huh?
Yes.
We can do some technical stuff. For me, all is fine. If it works, it works. It's
Yeah.
good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Well,
good.
thanks you for having me and letting me share my story of my life of becoming
That was
aware.
beautiful.
And I think I do need to add something because I know that there are people who also sometimes have like a lightning struck like that. I had another one last year in April.
Did
It
you?
can, yeah. I knew it was happening when it started, but I couldn't control or do anything with, so I'm still
That's
learning.
interesting.
But the most important thing is that not freak out. Just
Yeah.
let it be.
Yeah.
That's the really,
Very
so
true.
if you're going through the process of awakening and you feel energies, you all of a sudden feel other energies and other people, you feel mood swings, you all of a sudden can have your little helicopter light in your brain. Just don't freak out. Like, it's okay.
Yes.
You'll be fine. And if you want to talk about that, you're free to contact me at any time. If
Yes.
I'm
Absolutely.
sleeping, I will not reply, but just send me an email. Yeah, my name is Wendy. Send
Wendy
me an
Van der
email.
Grinten. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wendy van der Grinten. Well, it's very Dutch. You can say Van der
Yeah.
Grinten in English.
I'm American. Come on.
You can say Van der Grinten.
That's how I say it.
Yeah, but mine is cut still originally. So Van der Grinten. So yeah, I really have you can reach me through the Dutch Fruit Festival. That's super easy. You got my email. You can reach me on Facebook. It's also cool. It will all end up in my phone. But I just want to give that people this message that that it's most important to stay calm And if you feel fear, let the fear go. It will be fine. You're not dying. And if you want to induce an experience where you are raising your frequency and you want to clear up some things, I've got loads of tools to help you with that too. That's actually my favorite. It was my favorite. It's still my favorite. It's really beautiful to see people go through this process. So if you want one of those people that to go through the process, no, I'm going to try to be in Texas. I don't know. I don't think it will work.
Oh, that'd be great.
We'll absolutely welcome you in the Netherlands or in Spain or in the Fresher Fruit Festival. I'll be there in 1 to 5 September.
Nice.
In Austria. So
beautiful.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that that you're not alone and that we can guide you. And there are way more others like me in Europe. They're called therapists. They're called naturopaths. Some are called Theta healers, Merkaba healers. I got all these names, got all these diplomas. So it doesn't matter for me what name you call it. It's just helping you become more you and getting you aware of who your soul with all your energy bodies on all your levels are. So thank you.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. That was beautifully put. Well, definitely contact Wendy. She's a beautiful soul, and this is meant to be the message here and now. So thank you, Wendy, and we will talk soon. Have a wonderful
Thanks,
day.
Tiffany. See you next time.
Thank you. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.